Hi, I'm Jesse Leahy with EngagingLeader.com. In episode 3 of the Engaging Leader podcast, I shared the 5M model of communication planning, which can help you be more strategic in your communications. The 5M, once again, are mission, members, messages, media channels, and manager or champion support. In this video, I want to share a little bit more about members and particularly share a quick, simple tool called Stakeholder Analysis that can help you break down what all of the different stakeholders are, or the different members that are going to be impacted by your communication, and which you should take into consideration in your communication strategy. Now, this is a simple little exercise. You can do it by yourself, but it especially works if you have a small group of planning people, and it can just take 15 or 20 minutes. You can either just be drawing circles on a board, or I like to use Post-it notes. But what happens is you'll start kind of broad, and they'll say, well, this communication is going to impact these groups. And for example, let's say we're talking about a business transformation. We're going to start making our products or services differently. And so, well, we know that's going to affect our employees because they're going to have to go about their work differently. And we know that it's going to affect managers because it's going to change a bit of how they work, but also we need them to be part of how this gets communicated and trained and so forth. And it's going to affect our customers. Now, it's very easy to, very natural to just stop and just start thinking, okay, let's start communicating to employees and let's start communicating to managers. But stakeholder analysis says, hey, let's use the people in the room and just start firing up all the different types of employees and other people that may be related to those employees who may have a stake in this communication issue. So we may say, well, we don't just have one homogeneous group of employees. We have some production employees, and we have some knowledge workers, and their jobs are going to be impacted differently, and also their communication needs are different. And we have part-time employees, we have telecommuters, and we have sales reps that are out in the field all the time, and we don't really ever see them, and yet we need to communicate this change to them too and get them involved. We have customer service reps. They're going to be talking directly to our customers, and so they have some specific communication needs. And this may be something that even affects our retirees, or at least our retirees are going to hear about it, and they have a major impact in shaping public opinion. And so we'd like to take them into consideration in our campaign too. And you know what? Someone in your group will say, this isn't just a U.S. issue, but we have U.S. employees, but what about, we've got employees in Europe, and we need to think differently about them. And how about our employees in Canada and Latin America and Asia Pacific? So a whole bunch of different types of employees, and this is just a quick example. Your team may come up with more. Now, how about managers? Again, we don't just have one kind of managers. We have frontline supervisors. They are going to be very critical in this business transformation, making it a success or a failure. Also, those employees and frontline supervisors, they report up through facility leaders. We're going to need to get their involvement very early and get their support to make this a success. Also, HR leaders, their jobs are going to be impacted, and they have a major influence on whether we're going to be successful. We have sales managers. We have regional directors. They have different needs and a different type of stake. We have department VPs. Of course, the CEO and the rest of the C-suite, we need to keep them informed as the initiative gets underway and makes progress. But also, we really need them to be fully on board and support this, or this will not be a success. Similarly, we want to keep our board of directors informed, and we need to be consulting with them. And we have some people in our company. They are not officially managers necessarily, but they are more influential than a typical employee. And if we can, bring them together and really involve them in some sort of champion council, that could be really powerful. So let's think about them. Now, how about outside our company? Well, we talked about customers, but there's more to it than just customers. There's media that we're going to need to be prepared to communicate with. There's advertising that happens, and we want our ad agency to be involved and informed. so they can shape our ongoing advertising. We're going to be expecting our suppliers to work with us differently, and so they're going to be impacted. Also, investors are sure going to be curious, if not actually concerned. And then each of our facilities are not out in space, they're in a community. And is this change going to impact the community? I don't know, but we at least need to be keeping those community leaders who might be very concerned as we determine whether there's a community impact and keep them in the loop. So as you can see, this could go a lot of different directions, and every communication issue is different. But if you take the time to really do this simple stakeholder analysis, it can really provide good intelligence to go into that 5M communication model. Now, as you identify different stakeholders, some of these are going to be important enough that you're going to want to do an empathy map to really get down what you do know about one of these members and maybe what you don't. And in my video number 2, I shared a quick illustration of how that empathy map works. You can find that on engagingleader.com, as well as podcast number 3 of the Engaging Leader podcast, where we talk more about the entire 5M communication model.